Alrighty, hello US folk. I'm going to help you with the speeches and promises of Adolf Hitler assignment. So this is Google Classroom. I'm just going to use 5th period as an example. And then this is what your Google Classroom should roughly look like. And speeches and promises of Hitler is under day 2. So if you click under day 2, it is right there. And I am just going to kind of help you go through it. I have an example one right here. So first, let's read the speech. Annotate by using a highlighter tool. All right, so speech in Munich, March 2019. That is a win. So we want to highlight that. And where, Munich, that is a where, so we highlight that. If men wish to live, here, let's just read it first. All right. If men wish to live, then they are forced to kill others. The entire struggle for survival is a conquest of a means of existence, which in turn results in the elimination of others from the same sources of substance. As long as there are people on this earth, there will be nations against nations. And they will be forced to protect their vital rights in the same way as the individual is forced to protect his rights. One is either the hammer, one is either the anvil. We confess that it is our purpose to prepare for the German people again for the role of the hammer. We admit freely and openly that our movement is victorious. We will be concerned today and night with the question of how to produce the armed forces which are forbidden us by the peace treaty. Okay, now that we've read that first paragraph, let's annotate. So if men wish to live, then what? They are forced to kill. Wow, that's pretty dark. It's a struggle for survival. So he's saying Germany's kind of on the struggle bus. For the same sources of substance. So we're just trying to live and we're struggling. As there are people on this earth, it's going to be nation against nation. That they are forced to protect. They're trying to protect if you're in the nations. It's the same way individuals are forced to protect their rights. So someone is either the hammer or someone is an anvil. I don't know if you watched old cartoons. The anvil is the thing that bonks them on the head, or the hammer that is hammering a nail. All right, we confess that it is our purpose to prepare the German people for the role of the hammer. So he wants the German people to be a hammer. So they want to be more of the aggressor, not what's being hammered onto, like the anvil. Like think of like a smith hammering a sword. All right. We admit freely and openly that our movement, right? Who is our? Germany is victorious, like winners. We want to be winners in Germany, so we need to produce arms. We need to produce arms, not like the things with your biceps and triceps, but like weapons. Thank you. But it's forbidden by the peace treaty, and it's, remember that important peace treaty that we talked about, Treaty of Versailles. Okay, second paragraph. We solemnly confess that we consider everyone a scoundrel. Ooh, what a negative name. Who does not try day and night to figure out a way to violate this treaty. We've never recognized this treaty. We will take every step which strengthens our arms, which augments the number of forces, and which increases the strength of our people. We confess further that we will dash anyone to pieces who dare hinder us in the undertaking. Our rights will be protected only when the German Reich, which is the country, is again supported by the dagger. So a thing that come out, strengthen our arms, right? They want Germany to be strong, right? Because they are struggling for survival. And why does he do this? Because he wants to be, they want to be just protected, right? He's kind of playing the protectorate role. Hey, I don't want to do this, but we're only doing this because we need to protect ourselves. We need to survive, right? He mentions protect and survive a lot, all right? And he's saying we can't just sit around and do nothing. We need to be the dagger, right? We need to have action. Now, notice this is 29 and this is 35. Okay, that's a when, so we want to highlight when. And Nuremberg, I don't know if you're familiar with geography, but Nuremberg is also in Germany. Now, his second speech is much shorter. He says, nothing is possible unless one will commands. A will which has to be obeyed by others, beginning at the top and ending only at the bottom. This is the very expression of an authoritarian state, which is not weak like a babbling democracy. An authoritative state is when everyone is proud to be obedient or obey, because he knows I likewise will be obey when I must take command. So, first things first, what's he saying? Nothing is possible unless one person has to be in charge, is what Hitler is saying. So one person has to be in charge, and they have to obey, right? They have to listen, and it starts at the top, right? Even so, even important people have to listen to this one person, and even the very bottom. So he's kind of saying the whole, we're all in this together type of thing. He says this expression of an authoritative state, think authority when you see that word. And he said not like a weak democracy. So he's calling democracy weak. And if you remember from the slides on Tuesday, Germany used to be a democracy, and then Hitler changed it to a totalitarian. Totalitarian? Yeah, I'm not good with the pronunciation, but you all know that. All right, and that, once again, he's reiterating obey. A lot of it is about being obedient. Okay, so that is how we annotate, right? Not too bad. Now, let's see what the question is. So, describe the first message. So, the message in the first speech. So, find keywords, right, that might help you tell us what he is talking about, right? So find these things we annotated and come up with what you think this speech is about, right? You see lots of survival, protecting, hammers, daggers. So what do you think roughly what his speech is about? Okay, and then let's see, question number 2. How does he justify the need for Germany to break the treaty? All right, let's do that one as a class. All right, so what does he say that why do they need to break the treaty? So we can find the treaty right here. So what is the treaty forbidding us being Germany? What is it forbidding? Well, let's keep looking forward. Produce arms. Now remember, arms aren't biceps and triceps. They're like guns and weapons. So how does he justify? Well, he's saying, what else? Why do they need to produce armed forces? Oh, right here, we annotated it. Because they're struggling for survival, struggling for existence, right? They wish to live, but forced to kill. So they're at their breaking point, essentially, okay? And that's it. See, notice how simple that was when we were just, we annotate. So that's why it's important to read first, annotate second, because then once we annotate, it's much easier to find the answers. All right, let's go to the second one. Number 3. How does Hitler mean by Germany needing to become a hammer? Now remember, he mentions hammer and anvil. Anvil's like that blank thing. So like, look, if we go to Google and we type in anvil, look, it's like this thing. And hammer, see? That's the anvil and the hammer. So anvils just sit there and do nothing, or hammers are actually physically moving and producing action. So, what does Hitler mean by needing to become a hammer? He doesn't want to be an anvil and do nothing. He says Germany needs to be proactive, right? There's the hammer, and it's acting, it's moving, it's doing something. So he's saying that Germany needs to be a hammer. They need to be doing something to get out of this struggle for survival, right? They want to be strength and strong and protect each other, right? See? And then let's do one more together. How does Hitler's message reflect his view on the role of power and global politics? Well, first off, that might sound like a lot, but let's break it down. Role of power. So do you think, based off the first one, he likes power? So would someone who likes power want to sit and do nothing? Or produce action and do something to protect the country? All right? Think, what would strong countries do versus what would weak countries do? So when you're thinking of this question, just break it down. Role of power. So what does he think powerful countries do? And how do you think they go about doing it? What do weak countries do versus what do strong countries do? And so what do you think his view on that is? All right? And let's just quickly describe the second message real quick, and then I'll let you guys go. All right. So his second speech, very short. All right. So how can we describe it? What's he emphasizing? All right. Think of something he is emphasizing. What does he say more than once? All right. Okay. So he is emphasizing obey or obedient. He's emphasizing a single person, and he's emphasizing authoritarian. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or contact me on Google Classroom. All righty? Okay, and then I forgot to talk about the slideshow, so I'm going to do that shortly. All right.